Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I'm just going to talk about a trip that I made this summer just a couple weeks ago, driving from Prince George, British Columbia down to Vancouver, right deep inside Vancouver near UBC actually. So you can see here from Google Maps that would be approximately 800 kilometers. Driving in a gasoline vehicle would take about 9 hours and 5 minutes. For me, driving down and back, actually, it took about 10 hours and 45 minutes, I believe it was. So basically 1 hour and 40 minutes additional time of charging was what it took me in the summertime. So, you know, if I look at something like this tool here, Better Route Planner, this is a really great tool. Helps you figure out, mapping out, you know, if you want to go, say, from my home location, and let's just say I want to go, you know, somewhere Metro Vancouver. So I click that in, I click this little blue button. It calculates the route with all the chargers and tells me all the times, which is pretty cool. So according to a Better Route Planner, it says it'll take 10 hours and 17 minutes. You know, maybe I could have gotten that kind of time if I was driving by myself. But anyways, you can see here, if I had charged to 100% from home, you know, it's recommending I could charge at 100 Mile House, and then I could charge at Hope and Vancouver. Almost followed this pattern just because my younger child needed to use the bathroom, so we ended up having to charge a little bit sooner. So we had an additional stop, and I'll get into all the statistics in a bit. But let's say, you know, you decide you want to add more chargers beyond what it recommends. How do you do that? So if I click back here, and I can click the Add button and drag this new entry here into the middle. And let's say I want to charge, let's say I wanted to stop at Williams Lake first, and I knew that I wanted to go there. So I could essentially pick Williams Lake, and it's going to show the charger there, so I could pick that, and I just I recalculate, and let's see what this does. Okay, so, you know, add another 10 minutes or whatever, but basically, you know, and that's how you would, you know, prefer certain chargers. Let's say I wanted to, I'll just get rid of this table, click the table button, it gets rid of that. Let's say I wanted to avoid this 100 Mile House charger. If I click on it, I can use this avoid this charger button. It'll just skip that one and recommend a different charger, and I can pick other ones. So really great tool. This is what I used. Really recommend using this. Another thing I would recommend is when you do charge at a charging station, make sure you use PlugShare, and please check in. You know, some of these charging stations will do that automatically for you if you have the PlugShare app, but some of them don't. And so by checking in, it lets other drivers know. The icon color will turn gray, and other drivers will know that you're using that charging station. Plus, you can say there how long you believe you're going to be. So it just lets them know if they should avoid the station, or if it's going to be done in 10 minutes, then maybe they'll just come there anyway. So checking in helps do that, but it does another important thing. Down here, you can see the check-ins list. It shows you when the last few times that people successfully charged there. That's become very important. There's been a number of places where, you know, like in Burns Lake, the only charging station they have there, it's actually decommissioned because they're doing some construction and apparently going to install other chargers. But for the last like many months, that's been a very important charger, but it's not even there. But it still kind of shows up on the map, and if people previously used it, they might think it's, you know, that it's still going to be there. So just make sure you use PlugShare to let people know that you successfully charged there from a history point of view, and also from a multiple people using the charger at the same time point of view. So it just helps other people plan better. So just some etiquette. Okay, so let's get into some statistics now that I've talked about that introduction. So in July, I used this website, and I've talked about this before, called TeslaFi. So it's teslafi.com. And you can see in here, once you sign up with the service, they automatically communicate with your Tesla account and pull in all the stats. So there's nothing for you to do. It just pulls in the stats, and you can pull out all kinds of information about your charging, how much it cost, how much energy you used for different parts of trips. Very useful. And that's how I kind of pulled together this summary. So let's talk about the drive down from Prince George to Vancouver. So as you saw earlier, a better route planner said, start at Prince George, and they said go to 100 Mile House. So I did more charges here for a number of reasons I'm not going to get into, but you can see here all the stats, and I will link this spreadsheet in the description of the video so you can look at all these yourself. But basically, going down, I believe I used a lot more energy. I was trying to catch up with my children that were driving in a separate vehicle. I have a large family, so we had to take 2 vehicles. And it was raining out and all that, so I never did catch up with them because they were driving a bit fast, and I just didn't want to drive that fast. So you can see here for the first leg of the trip, I used 51% battery, 50% battery. I just put these in yellow. If I used a lot of battery for that part of the trip, or I arrived at a location with close to 10% or less, and I also made that yellow. But essentially, the funny thing is I charged more times on the way down. So Prince George to the Australian Rest area, which is just south of Quesnel. Then from there, I went to 100 Mile House, and then went to Cache Creek, Boston Bar, then on to Hope, then on to Surrey, and then Vancouver. So I wanted to stop at some new charging stations just to get the experience, take some pictures, in case I needed to use them in the future, just to know where they are and how the charging works. So you can see here overall it took 10 hours and 43 minutes driving and charging time. Each one of these charges didn't take very long. The first one was just a quick bathroom break, so I was there only 15 minutes. And then generally speaking, half an hour. This one was a bit longer, 50 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. But even though I did more charging, the amount of time I took less charging on the way back. But overall, I was kind of shocked to see this, but the difference in time was 1 minute. So that was kind of interesting, I found out. So, sometimes if you think additional charges may add extra time, well, it really depends. You may stop for more charges, but if you're driving faster and using up more energy, then, maybe it makes up that time. And I think that's what happened in this first drive down. So I drove 811 kilometers down. I drove 809 kilometers back. So almost the same. And in miles, that's about 500 miles one way, 502 miles the other way. That was the actual distance traveled. You can see here the amount of time I spent charging was 2 hours and 40 minutes, and this was 2 hours and 19 minutes. So I guess the driving time was less than what Google predicted for gasoline vehicle. Driving down was this, but basically what I think you could get away with would be a trip like this one here. And I know a friend recently bought a Model Y in Vancouver and took basically a journey very similar to this. So Vancouver to Hope, and you just supercharge there. You end up with about 40-something%, charge up into the 90s. And then after Hope, you stop at Cache Creek. You charge up a bit there because the Fraser Canyon does take a lot of energy, being very mountainous, but very fun to drive through, by the way. Then after Cache Creek, you could probably, I stopped at Williams Lake. It's possible you could make it to Quesnel if you really pushed it, but I didn't want to. I always want to leave a little bit of buffer when I get to a location, just because you don't know if you have to stop at an accident scene and take a different route to get around. So I always leave a little bit of a buffer, and I stop a little bit extra. So then I went to Williams Lake, then I went to Quesnel, and then I went home. And so these are all the stats. I'll put this in the link, and I will show some pictures as well. One thing I will point out is you can see here I stopped at Boston Bar, and that's an interesting one. In order to charge at Boston Bar, I'll show some pictures in this video of what that each of the charging stations looked like, and also show like a sped up video of the drive down. I don't have video of the drive back, but I do have a video of the drive down. And so you can see this Green Lots application. You have to install this application if you're going to charge at the Boston Bar BC Hydro charger. Right now the RFID card doesn't work, and it says on the machine that it's out of order, but it's not out of order. You just have to use the Green Lots app, install an account, and just pick the Boston Bar location, click Start Charging through the app, and it'll unlock the unit that you can pull the charging plug out of it and start charging. So there is a level 2 charger there, but no need to use that. You can use the BC Hydro charger. Okay, so I think I've mentioned in summary pretty much all the things I wanted to say. You're going to now see some pictures, maybe some video clips of me stopping at various charging sites. I will say one thing, and that is, you know, in Prince George, I just charge from home 90-something% of the time. Very easy to charge in my garage, is great. But when I was in Vancouver, I experienced something different. And, you know, I was using an Airbnb, which was in Vancouver. Anybody who knows Vancouver, a lot of the places there you cannot charge at home. They don't have driveways, they don't have garages. A lot of the places you just park on the street and there's nowhere to plug in. So that's how it was for us for a week. So the only places I could charge were around Vancouver. And it was a gong show. You know, I was literally 5-10 minutes away from UBC, and they have some free BC Hydro chargers there. But honestly, most of the time I went there were like 2-3 cars trying to charge at the same time. And these charging stations only allow one car at a time. So I saw like somebody charging with CCS, and then a Tesla Model 3 was trying to use the other plug. I mean, they have 2 plugs, but you can't charge from both of them at the same time. So it was quite busy. And I went 3 or 4 different stations across town, and they were all busy. So in the end, most of the time I just went to the superchargers. And actually, anyone who knows Vancouver, anyone who owns a Tesla, you'll know that Richmond has the best superchargers there. 150 kilowatt. I'm going to show some pictures and maybe some video clips in this video where even there's 20 charging stations. Even then, there's a few times where almost all the stalls were in use. Very busy because it's very good location, free parking there, very convenient access. And so, you know, if you're living in a big city and you don't have a way to charge, whether you're at an apartment or at home, you know, you're going to rely on these other chargers. So what I found was, if I didn't want to drive, you know, the distance to get to the supercharger, because I was like close to UBC, I had to find a Chargepoint fast charger, and you know, you have to pay for that one, but those are less likely to be as busy as the free ones. So I ended up charging there as well. Anyway, hope this video helps you guys out. Do look at the stats. I will show a link to this spreadsheet so you can see all these numbers. So if you want to drive somewhere up north, maybe to Kamloops or Williams Lake or 100 Mile House or Prince George or Quesnel, you can get some idea of what it would take to get there. And people coming from America, most likely if you want to go through Alaska, you'll probably have to come through a lot of these cities. And I will say most of the charging is free. The only thing I paid for in this trip, both up and down, was at the Hope Supercharger. And that's because it's a Tesla supercharger. And actually, I didn't pay because I used free kilometers from a referral. Someone bought a Model 3, so I was actually able to use them all up before they expired, which is great. Anyways, check out the rest of the video and hope it helps. Thanks. Bye. Hello, everybody. We are getting ready to test out charging at Mount Robson. I'll be testing out the Chademo adapter. Bought this Chademo adapter, I believe, end of December 2019 or early January. These are all the stats. It's got this serial number, part number. I don't think it has any version information, but you can see what it all says there. That's my Chademo. I'll also be testing out the J1772. There's one of the couple things. So we're going to test Mount Robson. There's 2 25 kilowatt DC fast chargers. I'll be testing this on. A bunch of people have had problems charging with the fast charger. I had problems, but I was successful at the end, and I made a video. I'm going to try this again and make sure that it's not flaking out. And one of the flow chargers, I think the blue flow charger was requiring a network connection, but they reconfigured it so it shouldn't need it. So I'll test that one. I'll make videos. Got my spare tire in case I get a flat. Have my kit underneath there, the compressor, air compressor, all that stuff, and I'm ready to go. Hey everybody, so we are here in Boston Bar. Highway 1 is right there. There's just this little side gravel road here, and it comes down to this little DC fast charger. There's a flow charger over there. They have a little sign here that says please use level 2, ongoing network issues. There's problem here is you can't use your RFID card. It does not work here. But notice how it says green lots. So if you install the green lots application and open the application and press start, this little door will pop open. Now you can grab your Chademo or CCS adapter, plug it in, and you'll be good to go. So you have to use the green lots app. Can't use RFID card. Good to go. Hey everybody, we are here at the Tesla Supercharger in Hope, BC. That's us. I think that's a red Model Y. Around the corner there's a gray Model 3 over there. Maybe, I don't want to invade their privacy. Bunch of Teslas around here. Pretty busy. I think there's a couple of cars over there. Dairy Queen right over there. And this is Highway 1 coming right here. It's going to turn onto the main highway just like a few seconds there, and we'll be heading to Vancouver. Getting 150 kilowatts here. Pretty decent charge, so yeah, this is a great stop. Alright, one thing that sets Tesla apart from a lot of the others is you're looking at it right here. I mean, look at this. This is insane. How many people can charge here at the same time? A lot. You just don't see this kind of forethought from other electric vendors. Tesla, from the ground up, they designed this whole system. They've got the fastest chargers, cars to take the charge, and a lot of them. So yeah. Hey everybody, alright, we're here charging at the Hope Supercharger. Arrived here with about 45%. I've now charged up to about 90%. Be leaving very soon, maybe about 94. Next charge will be in Cache Creek. Should be arriving with about 40 something, 43, 44% charge when I get there. Depends how I drive through the Fraser Canyon. You can see here a bunch of cars, bunch of Teslas charging here at the superchargers. This is at Hope, and so everything's going well. Beautiful day. Hope you guys are having a great summer. Stay safe. Hello everybody. So it is 2:15-ish, and we've arrived Cache Creek with about 42% charge. It's already got 2% back. I'm charging at the Cache Creek BC Hydro charging station. You can see 44 kilowatt there. So yeah, it, you know, if you charge up into the 90s in Hope, if you charge up to the 90s in Hope, then you can drive pretty quickly through the Fraser Valley, get through those mountains real quick, and get here with decent amount of charge. You won't have to be here for too long. I'm thinking my next charging location will probably be somewhere like Williams Lake or 100 Mile, something like that. If you keep arriving at different locations with, you know, 40% or more, you don't have to be there for too long, and the drive is much more pleasant. So I use my RFID card on there, but you can't open the app and push start once you've selected the location. And once you've done all of that, you just push start and you're off to the races. This here is just Highway 97, so it's really just off of Highway 97. Over that way is Dairy Queen, so it's just after Dairy Queen. So that's it for now. Okay, we're here at Williams Lake. We arrived with about 29%. We're now charging. It's a 50 kilowatt. It's just started. It's ramping up. 35 right now. We're going to charge up to about 65 to 70%, and then from here we'll just drive home to Prince George. This is at Williams Lake City Hall, this charger. I'll just show it quick. So there it is, BC Hydro charger on Mart Street. So this is Mart Street here, and it goes and loops around and connects up to Oliver Street, which is just down there and right by these stores here, Mart Street. So you just turn up, there's a big sign there that says EV charging. You come up here, and great spot right in the middle of downtown, lots of stores around. And so yeah, you can get home from Vancouver if you charge at Hope Supercharger, Cache Creek, Williams Lake, Prince George. That's it for now. All right, everybody, we are here in Quesnel. It's 6:44 p.m. We arrived with 34% charge. Probably could have made it home if I drove slower to Prince George, but I was driving a little bit faster, so it took a bit more energy. 192 watt hours per kilometer was what I was burning between Williams Lake and here. So anyways, we'll charge up probably about 10% more, and then we'll be off to Prince George. And we are in Quesnel. I've already done a video about this charger. I'll quickly show. It's right here. Another BC Hydro charger. And Extra Foods is right over there. And the highway is right over there. 7-Eleven right there. All right, we're back home in Prince George. 8:31 p.m. Took 11 hours. 13% charge left after leaving Quesnel. And that's pretty much a wrap. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what it'll take to drive from Vancouver to Prince George in the summertime. you.